Changing Lanes, the official podcast of BMW.
Hello and welcome to the premiere episode of Changing Lanes, the brand new podcast from BMW. I'm Sarah. I'm a city girl who loves road trips to the country. I love carpool karaoke and driving with the top down.
And my name is Jonathan. I'm a tech geek, a fun fact fan, and I'm a speed freak with cars and, of course, the internet.
You know, Jonathan, there's nothing better than getting in your car, driving down a long, empty highway, and listening to your favorite album.
Not a care in the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as long as you're abiding by the laws of the road, you are good to go.
Yes, or are you? Yes, speed limits are set in place for a reason, and stopping at stop signs is a given, but today on the podcast, we're talking about absurd laws in traffic that defy all logic. They're dumb, they're hilarious, but nevertheless, they're laws.
Yep, everyone. So sit back, relax, and laugh along with us at these 9 ridiculously absurd traffic laws.
All right. Absurd law number 1 takes us to San Francisco, the home of the trolley cars, steep hills, and microclimates. So in San Francisco, car owners are forbidden to polish their vehicles with used underwear.
With what? With used underwear? Hang on a second. Does that mean underwear that they've worn or?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So used underwear is a no-go, but you could polish your car with a rag or a cloth or clean underwear, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I was wondering. If the law's against used underwear, does that mean you can just open a package of brand new underwear and polish your car and that's okay? What a bizarre law. I mean, I wonder what the backstory is on that one. How did they come up with that? But we don't have the answer, do we, to the backstory?
No, we don't.
All right, we'll just leave that to everybody's imagination, how and why there's a law prohibiting underwear being used to polish your car. All right. Well, we have another one. That's our absurd law number 2. And now we have to get very quiet for this. Yes. Absurd law number 2 is from Switzerland, where slamming your car door is strictly prohibited. So I guess people are just too disturbed by the noise, or how loud that is.
I have no clue. I mean, Switzerland, you have all the beautiful mountaintops, the lakes. Everything's clean and nice and pristine. You have all this space, right? So why are you being punished for slamming your car door? What if you got a bit of?
But I'm also wondering, how do they decide what's really slamming or just merely shutting the car door? Because usually when you kind of pull the car door to close, it does make a sound, right? So are they just supposed to gently pull the car door closed? And how do they enforce it? Do they get tickets or
is there a decibel level?
I don't know. And how do they measure that?
Enforced? Yeah.
No idea. Okay, well, glad I don't live in Switzerland. Okay,
exactly.
I'm slamming my car door all the time. Okay, so Jonathan, let's move on to absurd law number 3. And what is that one?
All right, absurd law number 3 is actually, it's not a dumb law at all, but it kind of makes you wonder why there is an explicit law for it.
Okay, can't wait to hear this one. Which one? What is this now?
Okay, so in the state of Alabama, which is in the United States of America, in the state of Alabama, it is illegal for drivers to wear a blindfold.
Isn't that kind of a no-brainer? How are you supposed to drive a car with a blindfold on? Is this a thing? Were there really people who were doing this? That sounds completely ridiculous.
I know, right? This sounds like common sense. I can only imagine in driver's education in the Alabama state, they need to teach the kids this law. It's written into the lesson books.
So bizarre.
Hey, kids, don't wear a blindfold while driving. It's insane. How did this law come to be?
But also, I mean, it kind of makes you think, like, is there also a law like don't drive the car with your eyes shut? I mean, it seems like the same kind of prohibition, like blindfold. I mean, that seems very, very silly to have an actual law about that. But who knows what kinds of things people in Alabama like to do while they're driving their cars? So maybe it's necessary in law like that.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to absurd law number 4. Jonathan, get ready for this one. This one really makes no
All right.
sense. So, staying in the US, in a town called Glendale in Arizona, it is illegal to drive your car backwards.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, how do you reverse?
I cannot tell you. I mean, does this mean like driving your car backwards all the time or only on like big roads? And I'm just wondering, like, what do you do if you need to like back out of something? Like,
Yeah, like backing out of
I don't know, like
out of your
backing out of your.
driveway, right? Like that can't be illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, are they supposed to drive in a circle? I mean, it sounds really weird. I mean, I would think this is really just about not driving your car backwards for extended periods of time,
Right.
like speeding down the road backwards or something like that. Although, I mean, have you ever seen people do that really? Is that also kind of a problem?
Only in action movies where they're doing like a cool car chase and they're going backwards and stuff like that. But I've never really seen anybody properly drive backwards,
No,
only
because it's just,
reverse out of a driveway. Like that's normal.
yeah, or just to make a turn or something like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, maybe they did have a problem with people deciding it would be cool to just drive everywhere backwards, and they needed to establish a law prohibiting that. Strange things. Okay,
Exactly.
Jonathan, you've got absurd law number 5 for us, don't you?
Yes. Absurd law number 5 is in the city of Cicero, which is also in the States. And the police will pull you over if you whistle on public streets on Sundays.
Like whistling, like that whistle?
Yeah. Yeah. Monday through Saturday, not a problem. Fine. Whistle all you want. But Sundays, you're in big trouble.
Oh my gosh. So just one day a week where whistling is outlawed. Huh.
Yeah. You can't whistle on
Interesting.
Sundays on public streets in this town of Cicero.
Well, I mean, I can't whistle very well anyway, so.
I can't whistle at all, so I think this doesn't affect me. But I mean, what if you're like having a great? I mean, Sunday. Come on,
Yeah.
You're having a nice day off. You're strolling down the street. You might have a song in your head, and you might want to whistle or hum a little bit. It's illegal.
Yeah, you're breaking the law in Cicero. Okay, well, finally, we have an absurd law that isn't in the United States, but is actually in another country, namely in Australia, where it is illegal to transport, get this, hay in the trunk of your own car.
Oh, man. So for the farmers out there, this could be a little bit problematic.
Yeah, but hang on, Jonathan. It doesn't stop there. So
Oh,
listen
no.
to this. It's illegal to transport hay in the trunk of your own car, but you can take the hay in a taxi. You can take all the hay you want in a taxi, assuming it fits. I don't get it. Makes no sense.
So how like I'm thinking of like the farming industry, how do they transport hay? Like in taxis? Are there taxis for farmers that need hay? Like,
I don't know. I mean, and is it like a pollution issue? Or they just don't want like hay like falling out of the trunk or
Oh, that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
No clue. Moving on to absurd law number 7. In Oklahoma, so we're going back to the United States, in the state of Oklahoma, it is forbidden to read a comic book while driving.
So this is specifically against comic book reading. Okay, so reading anything else or texting or doing anything that'll distract you. I mean, you'd think all of that stuff is dangerous, but a comic book? Like, why so specific?
Yeah, no clue. There must have been, I don't know, a comic book convention in Oklahoma and people were distracted. I have no clue how these laws came to be. I mean, geez.
Yeah, very silly. Well, guess what? We're again in the United States for absurd law number 8. Jonathan, are you seeing a pattern here? So this time in Milford, Massachusetts, it is forbidden to peep into car windows.
Okay, what?
I mean, I guess it's a kind of a privacy thing. Like, I don't know. You're not allowed to look into somebody else's car window.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that. You don't want to be a stalker or be a creep, but like, what if I don't know, like your neighbor is parking next to you in a parking lot and you just look over and you want to say hi? Is that peeping into somebody else's car?
I think it probably would be in Milford,
Wow.
Massachusetts, and you could get fined for that. I don't know.
So it's illegal to be friendly. Okay.
Apparently, yeah. All right.
And absurd law number 9 seems like a guarantee for traffic jams.
Okay, and are we still in the United States for this one?
No, we've moved a little bit north. We've gone to Canada in a town called Jasper Gates, where this dumb law forbids drivers to go faster, get ready, than a horse or a carriage.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, I guess they're all driving rather slowly then in that town.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of horse-drawn carriages in that town and, you don't want to scare the horse or, overtake but like, and we've all been on country roads where there's a horse or there's a carriage, there's something that's slowing traffic down and you drive a little bit slower and then you notice the safety options and if you can safely pass, then you do so. But like, I don't even think you can pass.
No.
You just got to go slow.
Not really, but I mean, imagine having like a really cool car, like a really brand new car with all the latest and fastest technology. But if you're in Jasper Gates, Canada, you're stuck back in time and can only move at a snail's pace or a horse and carriage pace. Gosh, I don't know. I don't think I'd enjoy driving in that place. Not at all.
At all.
Mm-mm.
Well, there you have it, folks. 9 of the most absurd laws on the road. I think my favorite one is the last one, the Jasper Gates, Canada one, where you can't drive faster than a horse or a carriage. I wonder what the community vibe must be like.
I don't know. For me, the top of the absurdity was the law in San Francisco about the used underwear. I'm still pondering, like, what on earth that is all about. And how is anybody going to check whether you're using used underwear or brand new underwear? I don't even want to think about that. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
That
too
sounds
weird.
like
Too weird.
Falling down a rabbit hole in Google just to try and find out the reasoning behind that one law.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode of Changing Lanes.
Exactly. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast for future episodes.
If you'd like to dive deeper into all things BMW, just head over to our website. That's bmw.com to learn a lot more.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Sarah.
And this has been Changing Lanes.
See you next time.